The first one I got on, it was just me and my buddies were out in the arena. We had the calves turned out. He ran over and mugged it and told me to get on it, so I got on it, no rope or nothing, just in my tennis shoes and I think some shorts, and rode it around the arena, and then I decided I wanted to be a bull rider, and that changed to the bronc rider pretty quick. Well, you know, when I say I'm in competition with the horse, it means that, you know, I have to do my part and the horse has to do his part or her part so we can get a good score and place. You know, that the other riders don't have anything to do with that. And if I'm worried about what the guy in front of me is doing, it's going to take away from my focus. Or if I'm worried about, oh, I have to be this many points, I'm not going to go out and perform the way I should. So I just got to worry about what I know how to do and let the horse know what she knows how to do, and it'll all come together at the end. Been around bucking horses and raised bucking horses, and the ones I'm getting on now were born when I was little, so I've been around them my whole life pretty much. It's just, there's a big connection there in the backyard and my practice horses. It's really helped me get to where I am today, having all those ends with all the good stock contractors, and then plus my dad having all the good horses in the backyard. Last year at the high school state finals, had a horse rear up, and we got that picture a couple days later. He went over and put it side by side to the one he has, and I mean, it's pretty much to a T the same pictures. Cody Demers has always been my biggest mentor. He come around since I was little, like before I even decided I was going to ride broncs. And you know, if you had to ask me, I think I ride the most like him, but he sends me guys all the time. Tim O'Connell rides so picture perfect. He tells me to ride or to watch him and try to copy what he's doing, but then he'll send me Jess Pope and tell me to copy what Jess's upper body's doing. Send me Rocker and tell me to watch his feet. So just kind of, there's pieces of my style that I've picked out from all of the pro guys. I don't think I ride like one guy specifically. The clinic at the Vita Ranch in California, Dawson Hay and Lefty Holman were putting on. I was on the machine and they both told me that they're pretty excited that they were going to be about done by the time I got there. And then they convinced me at the end of the week, get on a bareback horse. They said they never had someone get on a bareback horse at the clinic, so got on one and I walked over and Dawson was like, geez, I'd be more worried if I was a bareback rider than being as a bronc rider. So that was pretty cool. And Dean Thompson, I was walking through the trade show in Vegas, and he was there at War Bonnet, and he called me over. We talked for a while there, and I think he's a big reason why I got sponsored by War Bonnet, so it's really cool to be sponsored by the same guy the world champ sponsored by. So, well, going into it, I'd been rodeoing in Utah all summer, going to the Rocky Mountain Pro Rodeos, and there was just a couple things that I was doing wrong that was just getting me in a bad spot. And we went to one of those rodeos the day before the first round of nationals, and I got on a really sweet little hopper, and she jerked me down right there at the whistle, and so that brought a lot of nerves to the first round. But I drew a super nice little colt from Summit in the first round, and just a nice little 18-point hopper. Went out and did what I could do. It was 80 points. Then the second round, I drew a horse from Broken Heart, who actually is a stock contractor for the RN rodeos. So I'd been getting on this guy's stuff all summer, and I was 81, which put me in lead going into the short go. And then in the short round, I drew a horse that I won a check on maybe 5 days before the finals. So I had more confidence than I'd ever had. We called my mentor, Cody Demers, and he said, well, if you're not happy about that, pack your bag and go home. And so I got on her. I needed to be 73, I was 75 and a half, and I won the world title. Outside of the arena, definitely my dad, because he's been there the whole time. He's really paved the way for me, and you know, shown me how to do it. And he's really the only reason I'm where I'm at today. And inside the arena at the moment, I'd have to say Leighton Berry. He's a PRCA bareback rider. He had a very similar injury to me, so he's been a big help throughout this whole deal of the healing process, and just being able to talk to him, also look at him and know he's riding bareback horses and he recovered from what has happened to me is really, it brought a lot of positivity back to it. I went and entered a GCPRA in Wilcox, got on a horse that everybody was assuring me was a super nice little hopper that was going to win the rodeo on easily, just going to put a good spur right on. So I got on it, and honestly the second it rolled in, everything kind of went horrible. There was a big old speaker right above that buck and shoot that was just, I couldn't hear nothing, and that horse was starting to freak out. Well, they came to me first to make sure I'd get out of there, and that horse rolled around that post and smashed me into the back of that slider, fractured my T12, which and it pinched off of my spinal cord. So I was lucky I was able to get my hand out, and I landed on the ground in a fairly decent spot. I couldn't feel anything from my waist down for about 2 days, but I didn't really think much of it. I was begging them to just pick me up and put me on my bag so I could lay there, because I figured I was going to regain the feeling. I figured it was just a stinger. I didn't really think much of it, and they finally convinced me to get in the ambulance. And first thing I told the nurses was I was going to football practice the next day, so they had to let me go home. They just kind of laughed at me, and we got to the hospital, and now I have 8 pins and 2 rods in my back, and 4 vertebrae completely fused. So never really had a doubt from the moment it started. A lot of praying, a lot of divine intervention got me through being in the hospital. Now I'm going back to full activity and going to go back to rodeo. So, well, as of right now, the plan is to get healed up, go back to riding the way I was, hit the summer run pretty hard, get the ball rolling again, win the high school finals 2 more times. I'm just a junior now, so I got 2 more chances at the high school title, and then go on to the Yellow Buck and Shoots and win the PRCA World title pretty quick. Hopefully the Rookie of the Year right off the bat. Well, for the longest time I was really big on the nobody talk to me before I get on. I had both AirPods in. Kind of moved away from that, and I kind of realized that the more relaxed I am, the better I ride. So I kind of goof around maybe a little more than I should, but it's been working for me. So, but I always get there. The first thing I do is adjust the bolts and rosin my rigging, put it back up, change my pants, go and stretch, and then from there on, it's taping my arm and just getting my mind ready. Always, my go-to is always Motley Crue, but I think my go-to song is Lunatic Fringe. Kind of, like, nobody really uses that song anymore. I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. I don't do nothing that weird, but my hat does not go on the bed. And I always put my right spur strap on, so I guess that's a little weird, but my right spur strap's always first. Some of my favorite hat brands definitely got to be War Bonnet hats. They're located in Park City, Utah. And then I wear cinch jeans, cinch shirts. Got a Barstow rigging. It's the best rigging out there. It's honestly the only rigging out there. And then Dusty Barrett, he builds my bronc saddle. He built my shafts. He's got my halter built. People don't understand a lot of times that you trust in the process of the whole is the biggest piece of it. But I mean, the work that you put outside the arena is more important than the work you put into it, I believe at least. You know, it means a lot. In my opinion, that really goes to show how I hold myself and that I represent this town, you know, the way I'm supposed to. Yeah, I hope to keep doing that. Yellow Buck and Shoots in Las Vegas at the NFR.